Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a way overdue, like a few years overdue, video reacting to 2Raw2Ride or Cheval. I have notes here, so forgive me, but I don't fucking care, I don't know. But basically, this is a guy who bought two horses, Petey and Shyok, from different owners to travel cross country. Yeah, he wanted to hopefully get picked up on Netflix. He quit his six-figure job to do this, thinking he was going to get fortune and fame and like just be like some kind of hero. I don't know what his goal really was. I don't care what his goal was. But I've seen a lot of things recently on social media raising a lot of questions about whatever happened to this guy and whatever happened to the horses. Because nobody seems to know what happened after 2023, and I was able to do some research and I found some articles that will hopefully give everybody closure on this story. He had bought these horses to go cross country, and he was traveling from Texas to Seattle in 117 days, I believe is what it was. And to be honest with you guys, he did cheat. He was trailering the horses the most of the way. There was even a rancher in an article that he stayed with at some point. If I can find that article, I will link it below or throw it up on the screen, where he openly told the interviewers that he never took care of the horses while he was staying on his property. He didn't feed them. He didn't care for them. The horse was actually avoiding the guy who was riding him. Shyok was avoiding this guy, but when the rancher would come up to Shyok, he was all happy and whatever. Law enforcement had been notified multiple times of the neglect of these horses and failed to do anything. There was even an interview that I found in an article, which I'll throw up on the screen, where an officer admitted that they, despite the horse's conditions, didn't see that as animal cruelty at the time. Even though the horses had multiple abscesses in their hooves, overgrown feet, saddle sores on their back and withers and shoulders from illy fitted tack, they were clearly malnourished and starved from not being fed the proper amount of water or food, or just... It just is, I can't put words together to explain the irritation I have for law enforcement all across the board for various reasons. But if a horse looks like this, how can you look at that and say it's not animal cruelty? That just blows my mind. But he basically ended up somewhat finishing his journey before he finally got stopped, I think in Idaho is what the articles were saying that I was able to find. And he did get charges, guys. He did get charges. Excuse these sirens. I live by a busy road in the background. But he did get cited. Here's the problem I have with his citations. He never got arrested or charged with animal cruelty. His only charges were not having the proper paperwork to show he owns the horses, not having paperwork that his horses were ever checked out by a vet before making this journey or any time throughout his journey. And he got in trouble for something else. Let me cheat here and look at my notes that I have written down. You're not allowed to transport animals across state lines and border lines without documentation, again, that they've cleared a vet check, that they're safe and don't have any diseases that can be transported to animals in another state. So he also got in trouble for that. It is relieving to see he got in some misdemeanors for something, but the fact that he never served any jail time and never got animal cruelty charges because the authorities failed to see that these horses were being neglected and abused is just such a disappointment. Like, once again, the officers of our country have failed us in my eyes. And after he got through his court and everything in Idaho, the horses were never confiscated. He was still allowed to make and finish his journey, which he kind of half-assedly did, if I'm being honest. And then he would put the horses for sale together as a pair, for $60,000, which he never ended up getting. And this is where the mystery comes in. I only was able to find that Shyok sold. He ended up selling for $9,600 is what the auction site said. But whatever happened to Petey? I can't answer that question. I've looked everywhere. I know the horse suffered from colic at some point on his journey. No one really knows what happened to Petey. I don't know if they sold together for $9,600. I don't know if the horse ended up dying. I don't know if this guy ended up abandoning the horse somewhere to die out in the wild. No, what happened to Petey honestly remains a mystery. And I could not find anything of where this guy is now. I looked everywhere over the internet for this guy. His whereabouts and Petey's are really unknown. I just know that Shyok did sell for that $9,600 price point. Some people speculate it was his previous owners who purchased him. Others speculate he was bought and then given to slaughter. Others say he was bought and then put in like a rehabilitation center to then eventually be sold again once his health was improved. There's just a lot of unanswered questions and conspiracies about this case, but I just figured I should make this video to inform everybody of the information that I was able to dig up, so everybody is aware, like, this is where we're at right now, 2 or 3 years later after this incident happened. So I hope that gives some of you guys closure. He did get some charges, maybe not the charges we were all hoping for. And yeah, his whereabouts are unknown. Petey's whereabouts are unknown, and Shyok was sold, but his whereabouts are now also unknown. Yeah, that's, I guess, basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in another video.